All right, Portugal, Portugal, Portugal. So I might do a trip to Portugal. I think get everyone here, do a sourcing trip in Portugal. We're thinking about that, right? Kathy and I, when we were in Sydney, we're actually looking it up. But in terms of Portugal, there are, again, a lot of manufacturers here that do a lot of different things. So this is one of them here, and you can see they actually do these beautiful wooden champagne buckets or ice buckets. They also do tables and things like that, right? So if you are someone who's actually struggling to find a product, one thing that you can actually do, and this is something that I've done in the past before, is I've actually contacted manufacturers, right? Got their catalogs and then went through their catalogs and did product research that way. So that is something that you can possibly do. And it works really, really well if you're kind of just not sure what you kind of want to get into, not sure what micro niche you want to get into. So that's something that you can do with a lot of these European manufacturers that I'm going to be showing you today. You can just contact them, see what they have. I mean, even if we look at this particular bucket here, the one on the right, if that bucket isn't in Australia, right, I'd be very tempted to sell that in Australia, right? Very, very tempted to sell that in Australia and get it into Australia. And it could be really any one of their products. So these guys here probably, I'm not sure if they sell their own products, but they definitely wouldn't be selling them in Australia, but they do a lot of really, really cool wooden stuff. Um, but it's an opportunity. Actually, has anyone seen a wooden ice bucket or champagne bucket? I don't think I have. Okay, so this is another one here, again, made in Portugal. Baby and maternity. It's a family brand, they say. And so basically, what these guys have done is this wouldn't be a manufacturing company. I think what they're doing is basically getting it from a manufacturer here in Portugal. But I wanted to show you guys as an example of, again, products that you can actually get made here in Portugal. So if you're actually in the baby niche or you have, products around that, it's probably a good idea to look into it, especially if you're selling blankets and things like that. If you guys kind of are probably, I'm not sure if you guys know, but a few years back, blankets were kind of a really, really big thing, right? And they tend to continually be doing really, really well. And one of the good things about blankets is the fact that you can actually sell them for quite a bit. So up to 70, 80, 100, $150. So this particular brand here, what they actually did was just a different spin on blankets, right? So if you have a look, they're just kind of a lot more luxurious, I guess. And again, this is something that I'd be looking at here to get into Australia, right? If you're thinking about a product and this particular product isn't selling in Australia, then I'd be actually thinking about that a lot. The branding is brilliant. So if you kind of look at something that works really, really well, like the hoodie, and you start to think to yourself, okay, all these guys were doing was basically selling an oversized hoodie, right? It's a blanket and it's a hoodie. It's an oversized, and they're still doing really, really well. They're selling for 150. The manufacturing cost of that particular product will probably be around about, I'm guessing probably around about $12, right? $12 probably max, right? And they're selling it for 150. So what I'd be doing is I'd be actually reverse engineering what they did. I'd be looking at their website, having a look at all the different products. I'd probably even go to like the Facebook ad library and see if they're doing any Facebook ads. So you can actually, let's see if we can get onto them now. Facebook ad library. I'll show you guys something. All right. So these are all their Facebook ads, right? So these are all the Facebook ads that they're actually currently running. So, obviously what works really, really well, right? If these guys are running these particular ads, then obviously they're working. And look how many ads they have. They actually have a lot, right? So these are all the ads. So you can see they're really going hard out. But, if you think about it, and then let's go to Milled and let's see if we can see their email list and what they're sending to their email list. It's turning into a very different call, but all good. All right. So milled.com, verifying you're human. This might take a few seconds. Yes, I am human. In the meantime. All right. So this is basically search engine for e-commerce emails. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in the brand name, Udi. This is basically a website where you can see a lot of different brands, all their emails, and exactly what they send to their emails. So now we have all their Facebook ads, right? So these are all the Facebook ads they're running. Now we can see exactly what they're sending to their email list, right? So these are their emails. This is what they're actually sending out. So this is exactly what their email looks like. Be quick, one already sold out. Wow, it was now 39. So they're probably selling out a lot of the stuff that they had that probably wasn't selling, right? So they're just kind of clearing their stock. $39 each. Check that out. Wow. So yeah, I mean, this is a really good opportunity when you can actually see what they're doing in terms of advertising, when you know they actually really, really work and you can see what they're doing in their emails. It doesn't take much to be able to basically duplicate what they're doing, but in a different way, right? You don't want to sell the exact same products as them, of course, but you could actually get an Udi. You can get it manufactured probably in Portugal. You can have luxurious ones. You can have ones with different designs on them. And then what you do is you can go to Facebook ad library and see which one of their ads are working really, really well, right? Have a look at all their ads, and then you can just basically mimic it, right? So you reverse engineer what they're actually doing. You can see the exact emails they're actually sending out when they're doing their sales. So you would just basically duplicate that, right? And you got yourself a fun little brand, little exercise. They just launched a new range in line for the footy season that you can get in your rugby league team. Ah, cool. So that's actually a completely different strategy altogether. It's called licensing. And that's actually a really, really, really smart thing, a really smart thing to do. There was a brand called Black Milk Clothing in Queensland, and he actually started that by doing a lot of licensing, and he was selling, I think, leggings for women, and he was basically doing all these different types of leggings, but basically based on different licensing models, whether it be sports, whether it be cartoons and things like that. So licensing model can work really, really well, especially when you have a brand that's already sold a lot, because with licensing, it does take quite a bigger brand to actually be able to get that, because when you're actually looking into it, we're looking into the AFL. They do ask things for 2 or 3 years track record, your revenue. So you need to make sure that your business is kind of set up properly for that. All right. So hopefully everyone liked that kind of little example of what you can do.